it's Angel, and I have not made a video in a long time. Slow down on the coffee, Angel. I have not made a video for my personal channel in a long time. And I figured the best way to do it, or I got this idea to do it, with a posting I saw on Facebook. Now, Facebook has all kinds of awesome pages, and one of them is called YouTube Pagans. Pagans who post videos on YouTube, hence the name. And they have answer these questions. There's 52 of them, and you answer one a week. So I figured since I answered questions from the pagan perspective, I could shoot a video at the same time or right after, the same night type thing, and answer a question from the YouTube Pagan channel challenge. Now, because it is the 16th of February, I'm a little far behind. So I'm going to try to bang through these and get as many videos as I can to get caught up so I can stay on track the rest of the year. So let's start with the first one. How did you find your path? Well, I'd always been drawn to anything occult or metaphysical, whichever way you want to describe it. Magical, if you will. I bought into the Hollywood idea of a witch when I was a little kid. And I was a witch every single year that I can remember until I was a teenager. That's all I wanted to be. That's all I wanted to be. Of course, I was too young to understand what it really was, and yada, yada, yada. So, years later, I think I was 16 or 17, I was hanging out with a friend at her house, and we were watching probably PBS or In Search Of or something, and it was on fortune telling. And they were talking about tarot cards. So, my friend and I decided we were going to go to the local bookstore and buy a set of tarot cards. Now, the bookstores back then, this is like 20-something years ago, they didn't really have a lot of variety that they do now. They didn't carry a whole lot that they do now. And so it was pretty much the Rider-Waite deck. That's pretty much all there was. And I was looking for a book bigger than the book that comes in the card deck to help me learn how to read tarot. And a book popped out almost literally off the shelf called Power of the Witch by Laurie Cabot. It's not a huge book, but when you're 16 or 17, it's, reading, doing anything other than hanging out with your friends and doing teenage stuff, it can feel like a really long book. So I bought the book and I read it 3 times in like a week or a week and a half. And as soon as I read it the first time, I knew this was me. It was it. This was home. So I started researching. And of course back then, I keep saying back then, like in the olden days, but I'm sorry, I was born pre-internet. And, the internet, we didn't have the internet, like the dial-up internet AOL to like 92 or 91, 92. So we didn't really have a whole lot of other options to finding anything other than finding books or going to the library, which the library was pretty biased in books that they had on there, not anything of any kind of legitimacy, in my opinion. So it took me a long time, and I ended up starting to meet local pagans, and I just started networking and meeting people and learning, and then acquiring books and different things, and going to classes and being around covens, and here I am. Now, when I started on this path, I really just called myself pagan because I had no clue what I was going to end up being. And even at almost 44, I'm evolving again after 20-something years of being a eclectic pagan witch. The evolution has come about recently, within the last few months, due to my goddess changing. And my goddess has been Isis for many, 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 many years. Probably at least probably as long as I have been on this path. It just took me a little bit to realize that she was my goddess. So recently, over the last few months, I've had a change in my goddess, and more of a, not so much a, I'm going to give you to somebody else. I don't want to, it was more like, I can't help you with what you need, so I'm going to give you somebody who can. So now the Morgan is in my life, and anybody who follows the Morgan knows that she is deliciously complicated, and you're never the same after you are encountered with her. She's tough. She's like a drill sergeant. But she's got your back, like, in a huge way. So it's okay, But now I'm evolving in moving more towards my Celtic roots, because part of my family is Irish, and so I'm starting to connect more with my Irish heritage and the Celts that were Irish. And but actually I'm connecting with Boudica too, so just Celts in general. So yeah, and the thing is with this path is it is always evolving, and I guess I kind of forgot that. I think if you're on this path for any amount of extensive time and you have the same things that you do, the same rituals, same gods and goddesses, you can tend to, at least I did, get very complacent, and that's when you get a little shake up, and here I am. So that is how I found my path, through a book called Power of the Witch. And actually, here it is, and it's very twisted, pages falling out. It's been read a few times. It's been utilized quite a bit. But yeah, this is the book. This is the book that I read and found and got me on my path. Anyways, so I'm going to try to do at least 2 more of these videos. I will post them on a playlist called the YouTube Pagan Challenge, and that way you can just check them out there. So until next time, everybody, I will see you later, and blessed be. Bye!